and we get a knock at our door from the throws coach, and he's like, "You guys might be ineligible to compete."
We have very, very bad administrators running our sports in Nigeria.
After that time, I was definitely depressed, to be quite frank.
Her ability to defy gravity with a steel projectile was launched at the University of Cincinnati.
Making history at the Olympics, she became the first American to medal in women's hammer throw.
Annette Echikunwoke won the silver today.
But I'm so excited and so grateful that I get to bring this home for Team USA.
Hi there, my name is Jojo, and I genuinely hope you're doing well. I make video essays like this every week, so subscribe and turn on post notifications if you'd want to see more. Now, let's get back into the story. Annette Echikunwoke has won the silver medal for the USA in the hammer throw event in the ongoing Paris 2024 Olympics. So why is this a big deal? Well, let me provide a simple analogy. Imagine leaving your ex-girlfriend and finding out she's actually doing far better than she ever would have if she was with you. You see how embarrassing that sounds? Exactly. This is a similar story to that. But before we delve in deeper, let's figure out who Annette Echikunwoke is. Annette Echikunwoke is a Nigerian-American hammer thrower who was born in Ohio, United States. Her athletic career began in high school, twice finishing third in the shot put at Ohio State Championships and also finding success throwing the discus. At the University of Cincinnati, she joined the track and field team and eventually won the weight throw event at the 2017 NCAA Championship, also becoming the university's first NCAA champion in track and field. Now we know who she is, let's get back to the initial question. Why is a medal win such a big deal? To answer that, we need to go back in time. 3 years ago, in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Annette was representing Nigeria. Why did she represent Nigeria instead of the USA? Well, she chose to represent Nigeria as a way to honor her parents. However, while taking a nap to recover from the long trip into the Olympic Village, she received a knock on her door.
And we get a knock at our door from the throws coach, and he's like, "You guys might be ineligible to compete." Mind you, we're trying to deal with the jet lag, so he just woke us up out of a nap. And we're like, okay, but in my head, I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. There's no way I've done all this work and I've gotten to this point, and maybe this is like a fever dream. This is like a weird dream that's happening. But then unfortunately it wasn't, and they confirmed finally on my birthday, so about 5 days later, that we wouldn't be able to compete in the Tokyo Olympics. Yeah.
What's going on here? Why were they suddenly disqualified? The Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, failed to get Annette and 9 other athletes tested before the competition. You see, the Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, had ruled that these competitors, along with others from different nationalities, would not be able to take part in the Tokyo Games because of non-compliance with out-of-competition drug testing requirements in the run-up to the Games. The issue is that Nigeria and a few other countries are on the World Anti-Doping Agency Category A watch list when it comes to anti-doping violations. And what this means in English is that their athletes are tested many times before a major competition, more times than athletes of other countries. Among these disqualified athletes were Chioma Onyekwere, who held the African record in women's discus; Rosemary Chukwuma, the Youth Olympics 100-meter champion, who also won a bronze at the 2018 Commonwealth Games and gold in the 4x100 at the Africa Games. There was also Ruth Usoro, who held the indoor African record for the triple jump; Favor Ofili, who held the indoor African record in the women's 200 meters, as well as the African Games silver medalist; Annette Echikunwoke, the main character of this story, who was the African record holder in the women's hammer throw; and Chidi Okeze, the Africa Games bronze medalist in the men's 400 meters. This was a star-studded team and potential medalists that had been disqualified from the Olympics through no fault of theirs. According to the AFN, many Nigerian athletes based in the United States did not keep the AFN updated on their location. However, this was countered by Annette, who claimed that the AFN requested her location for drug testing 6 times, and she provided the location at all times, but no officials ever came to perform the test.
So it was just really up to clerical error on their end, essentially, and we kind of had to suffer the consequences of that, unfortunately. I say fortunately now because of how things have worked out, but unfortunately at that time, it was pretty heartbreaking, especially with all the work that was put in and the belief, okay, like we could really do something here, and I feel like I'm having like a perfect season lead up. Yeah, it was really painful.
The absence of these mandatory tests meant that they could not compete in the Olympics. Even more damning was the fact that Nigeria had the highest number of athletes disqualified for the Tokyo 2020 Games. It makes you wonder if the AFN really cared about the task they had been given.
It is bad that we are not winning medals. It is worse to know that we've been disqualified.
So, what did the athletes do? In response to the disqualification, all 10 athletes protested with placards against the AFN in Tokyo. This brought international shame and ridicule to the nation. Realizing how embarrassing things were, the AFN said in a statement that it had accepted responsibility for the administrative error. Think about that for a moment. You trained so hard to qualify for the Olympics, and due to an administrative error, which is no fault of yours, you get to see your dreams flash away right before you.
Like, say you're into racing cars, and like you have a really nice race car, and like you've built it from scratch. You just know all the mechanics of it. You're working on it every single day, and then before you even get it to actually go race it, you crash it. That's how it felt.
That wasn't Nigeria's first time at the Olympics, so how come they committed such a grave error? Even more worrying was the fact that no one from the AFN was sanctioned. Life continued as normal. So it was not surprising to many that 3 years later, Favour Fili was once again disqualified from running the 100-meter race in Paris 2024 because again the AFN did not register her for that event. Now back to Annette. So what did Annette further do? Being born in the USA to Nigerian immigrant parents, Annette decided to switch her nationality back to the USA and was successful just in time for the USA Nationals in 2022, and she earned a spot for the World Championships that year. She no gree for anybody. Since receiving permission to represent the USA, Annette has emerged as America's top hammer thrower. 3 years later, after she cried her eyes out in Tokyo, Annette shed tears for a much happier reason. The Ohio-born Nigerian-American was back at an Olympics on the night of 6th August 2024, this time representing the USA. In a fairy tale ending to her first Olympic participation, she finished second in the women's hammer throw competition with a throw of 75.48 meters. At last, she realized her dreams of winning a medal at the Olympics.
It's such a great honor, honestly. All I can do in my heart is really just be so grateful to God to just even put me in this position, quite honestly. But I'm so excited and so grateful that I get to bring this home for Team USA.
So, how does Annette feel about Nigeria right now?
And the first step in that way was to forgive Nigeria, ultimately, because you can't hold on to, like what they say is like forgiveness is holding on to poison while, you know, somebody else is kind of doing their own thing and you're the one that is dealing with the poison. And so I wanted to kind of go with a clear heart, clear mind into my next path forward, whatever I decided at that time.
Where are the other disqualified athletes from Tokyo 2021? The other 9 disqualified athletes all qualified to the Paris 2024 Games whilst representing Nigeria, but none won a medal. Is this an indication of a better training and better competition in Team USA as compared to Team Nigeria? Will Annette have missed out on a medal in Paris if she was still representing Nigeria? Also, on the flip side, could Annette have medaled for Nigeria had she gotten a chance to compete for them in Tokyo?
I guess we'll never know.
What's the moral lesson you pick from this story? Well, to me, no grief for anybody. Don't let anyone, including a country, block your shine. Now it's your turn. Leave your comments in the comment box below and let me know what your moral lessons here are. If you enjoy watching videos like this, you will definitely enjoy the video I did on the strange disappearance of Ghana's only gold medalists. As always, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.